Good morning, students. I am Ramappa AK, PGT History, JNV North Kannada, Karnataka. Today, I am going to teach you one of the very important topic, that is constitutional design from Democratic Politics Part 1, Class 9, Chapter number 3, Constitutional Design. Let us discuss now. In this chapter, we are going to discuss some basic questions about the constitutional design of a democracy. What are the basic questions? What is a constitution? Why do we need a constitution? How are the constitution drawn up? Who designs them and in what way? What are the values that shape the constitution in democratic countries? Once a constitution is accepted, can we make a change after as required by the changing condition? For all these questions, let us try to find out the answers. First, let us understand what is constitution. The constitution is a set of written rules that are accepted by all the people living together in a country. Constitution is a supreme law that determines the relationship among people living in a territory and also the relationship between people and government. The constitution is a supreme law of the country, according to which the country is governed. The country is governed. Now, after understanding the meaning of constitution, let us understand why do we need a constitution? What does the constitution do? Constitution is very necessary for the democratic countries. Constitution is very essential. Constitution does so many functions. Number one, it generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kind of people to live together. It specifies how the government will be constituted, will have the power to take which decisions. It lays down the limits of the power of the government and tells us what the rights of the citizens are. It also expresses the aspiration of the people about creating a good society. For all these functions, constitution does. That is why constitution is very much necessary for my dear children for democratic nations. Now, so we will be going to discuss how constitution was drawn up in South Africa. As you know all my dear children, South Africa became just recently independent and emerged into democratic country, and they drawn up their own constitution now, which was well appreciated by throughout the world. All the countries appreciating South African constitution. How did they prepare? How did they design? Let us try to understand. So as you know all, this is South Africa, one of the beautiful country. It is also called as a rainbow country. So this is Africa continent. South Africa is located in Africa continent. So see, you can see that this is South Africa. This is only South Africa map. So you can see that. Now let us go to the South Africa and try to understand how their constitution was designed. South Africa as the colony of white Europeans. South Africa is one of the country of Africa continent. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the trading companies from Europe occupied South Africa with arms and force. In the way, they occupied India. But unlike India, the large number of whites had settled in South Africa. So European traders came to South Africa. Until then, they are leading very comfortable life. The native people of the South Africa, after that using arms and forces, they conquered the whole South Africa, European white traders, and brought South Africa under their rule, and there itself they settled and started exploiting the resources of South Africa. How was the society of South Africa when it was conquered by the white traders, white Europeans? Society had got three categories of people in South Africa. One was the natives of South Africa, the inhabitants of South Africa. They were called as black. They were called as black. They were made up of about 3/4 of the total population and were called as blacks. Blacks were the inhabitants of South Africa. Out of total population, 3/4 population belongs to black category. Besides this group, there were also people mixed races, belongs to mixed races who were called as a colored. To South Africa, so many migrants from different Asia continent, different countries of Asia continent also migrated to South Africa for various purposes. They were called as colored. Other than blacks and colored, from India also large number of people they migrated to South Africa. They were called as Indian migrants. In this way, so when they occupied the South Africa, there were three categories of people who were there in South Africa: blacks, colored, and Indian migrants. The white government, after establishing their rule in South Africa, they underestimated all these three groups and they treated non-whites as inferior. Then after establishing white rule in South Africa, they introduced one inhuman policy which was called as apartheid. The policy of apartheid. What is the meaning of the policy of apartheid? Apartheid is a policy of racial separation, racial discrimination, and ill treatment of blacks on the basis of the skin color was called as the apartheid. Apartheid was a system in which blacks were exploited, ill-treated, underestimated, segregated, separated, discriminated. This totally policy was called as a apartheid. It was done on the basis of color of the skin. This policy was followed by white government as an official policy in South Africa. As they ruled South Africa, they followed this policy. The apartheid system was particularly oppressive for the blacks. So they were forbidden from living in white areas. They were not allowed, black people were not allowed to live in the white areas. The system of apartheid divides the people and labeled them on the basis of skin color. So during their white rule, the blacks particularly, they suffered a lot. How this apartheid policy was practiced in South Africa? How white government practiced this apartheid policy in South Africa? The blacks could not live in the white areas only if they had a permit. Means the black could work in white areas. They were allowed to work in white areas if they had got permit. Otherwise, simply they entered. If any black person found in the white area without permission, he was simply shoot at the site. He was killed. He was not allowed to enter the premises of white area. Trains, buses, taxis, hotels in South Africa, so hotels, buses, hospitals, schools, and colleges, libraries, cinema halls, theatres, beaches, swimming pools, public toilets even were all separate for the whites and blacks. This was called as a policy of segregation. In all these areas, my dear children, even train also, black people were not allowed to travel in the first class. Even public toilets were separate. White people separate, black people separate. Even so swimming pool and theaters, beaches also. So reserved for the white people. In reserved area, in beaches, any black was found, so that was the final. So he was killed and the body was thrown out. In this way, they created a terror by following the practice of apartheid, policy of apartheid. So among the black people, they could not even visit the churches where the white worshipped. Blacks could not form associations to fight against the terrible treatment. They were not allowed to form the associations. They were not allowed to write anything in the medias. They were completely forbidden. Their life was inhuman under the rule of the white government. So you can see that. So it is a picture given in the textbook. Danger. Like this, they were putting the placard. Danger. Natives, Indians and colors. If you enter these premises at night, you will be listed as missing. Armed guards shoot on sight. Save dogs. Save dogs. Devour the cops. You have been warned. Be careful. Don't enter. So in our premises, like this here, this is a beach in South Africa, my dear children. So you can see that like that placard they were putting and reserved for the white people. Even public parks also. So that seating benches were reserved for the white. Black was not supposed to sit. Then black people tolerated. There was limitation for the toleration, my dear children. Then lastly, they decided to fight against the policy of apartheid. They decided to drive away the white people from their nation. They decided to make their country free from the control of the white government. Then since 1950 onwards, the blacks, colored and Indians, united together to fight against the policy of apartheid. They launched protest marches and strikes. Everywhere demonstrations were undertaken. So strikes were conducted. They opposed the whites' rule. They criticized the white misadministration. Then they formed organizations to fight effectively. What was the name of the organization? Like India, they also formed their organization called as a ANC, African National Congress. You know very well, my dear children. So in our country, so same organization was formed, but name was a little changed. It was called as a, what was that? Indian National Congress, INC. In the place of INC, so in Africa they formed ANC. And so many other organizations they supported the ANC. ANC and all the organizations, they started fighting. They began fighting very systematically against the British through non-violence method. Okay, this included many workers. Which one? That African National Congress included many workers' unions. Communist parties also joined. Many sensitive whites also joined the ANC to oppose the apartheid policy. Some of the whites also they criticized. They joined with the black people to fight against the policy of apartheid. And so many countries they supported the ANC and their freedom struggle. They denounced, they criticized the apartheid policy as unjust and racist. But the white government continued to rule by detaining, torturing, killing thousands of blacks and colored people. It did not bother to anyone. It went on exploiting the resources and harassing all these non-white categories. Struggle continued. Even white government had taken very repressive measures against the freedom movement. But the fighters did not lose their heart. The leader of ANC, Nelson Mandela, he was being tried for treason. What do you mean by treason? One who is betraying his own country or government is called as a treason. Under the charge of treason, so Nelson Mandela and other some eminent topmost seven leaders, they were all sentenced to life imprisonment in 1964, my dear children. Nelson Mandela particularly imprisoned in the most dreaded the most dangerous jail. It was called as Robben Island. It is coming to the western part of South African country. There he was imprisoned. He was there for 28 years, my dear children. Nelson Mandela, he was there for 28 years. At the same time, when Mandela was there in the jail, his followers, the members of the African National Congress, they continued their fighting through non-violent method only. So you can see that, so this was the original photo. So he was there in the jail, not 1 or 2 years, my dear children. So you are surprised to know that, so he was there in 28 years in the same jail. You can see that how Nelson Mandela united all the people and organized the national movement. So he was the ardent follower of our Mahatma Gandhi ji. He believed in non-violence method. So he organized a big method of fighting against the policy of apartheid, against the white government, my dear children. As protest and struggle against apartheid had increased, so protest went on day by day, becoming very aggressive, day by day becoming and spreading across the country. Large number of people were joining. The government realized that, which government? The white government realized that they could not no longer keep the blacks under their rule through repression. They realized that they could not continue their rule through repression. The white regime now decided to change their policies. Discriminatory laws were repealed. So many discrimination laws were there, not only apartheid. So many discrimination laws were there. Now they understood that, they got fear that when the movement became widespread across the nation, then they got afraid and decided to lift all the discriminatory laws and ban on political parties and restrictions on the media. Political party was banned, actually ANC was banned, and so many political parties were banned. Now the ban on media also lifted. Now the given full free to undertake their function. Then many countries, including India, many developing countries, so they pressurized on white government to release the Nelson Mandela under the pressure of majority of the countries of the world, because he was fighting with the non-violent method. So under the pressure of all the countries, lastly white government released him after 28 years of imprisonment. Nelson Mandela walked out from the jail as the free man. Finally, at the midnight of 26th April 1994, when South Africa became independent, at the midnight of April 26th April 1994, South African national flag of the Republic of South Africa was unfurled and making the newly born democracy in the world. The apartheid government came to an end, paving the way for the formation of a multiracial government. Now, in this way, they got the freedom and emerged a democratic country. After the emergence of the new democratic South Africa, black leaders appealed to the fellow black to forgive the whites for the atrocities they had committed while in power. See, very interesting factor you should have to understand, children. You should have to understand, children. You should have to understand. Yes. So, black leaders, see, many of black leaders, they decided to take revenge against the white government. But Nelson Mandela and many other black leaders, they appealed to the other black people to forgive them, to excuse the white people. Whatever atrocities they had committed at the time of the power, forget it. They said, let us build a new South Africa based on equality of all races of men and women, on democratic values, social justice and human rights. They asked the white people, stay here itself. Don't go away from this country. Accept this land as your motherland. Let us mix together. Forget whatever happened in the past. Let us build a very strong democratic nation. the party that ruled through oppression and the party so which suffered, both of them, they sat together, negotiated, deliberated, debated, discussed, and lastly they formed one of the finest constitution in the world. Let us see how they formed. So after 2 years of discussion and debate, they came out with one of the finest constitution in the world has ever had. The constitution gave to its citizens the most extensive rights available in any country. After long negotiations, both the party means whites and blacks, they agreed. What did they agree? The principle of majority rule, and that one person, one vote, one value. So each person should be given one vote, one value, and one person, one vote, one value must be given. The principle of majority rule and that one person and one vote. They also agreed to accept some basic rights for the poor and workers. Agreed to give some of the basic rights to the poor and workers also. The blacks agreed that majority rule would not be absolute. Blacks agreed. So our majority rule would not be absolute, means would not be dictator. And they also agreed that the majority would not take away the property of the white minority. Whites told that our property should not be disturbed, should not be taken away by the blacks. Then would stay here accepting this land, so treating all you people as our brothers. But writing constitution was not easy. This compromise was not easy. Of course, they agreed some basic values, but it was not easy. But even though they did it, so how was the compromise going to be implemented? Even if they managed to trust each other, what was the guarantee that the trust will not be broken in the future? Then they agreed so many points. But how to believe that these agreements would not be broken in the future? Then they decided to put it in the form of writing, in the form of document. That was called as a constitution. Then both of the party scholars, they sat together, they wrote in the form of the constitution, which would not be modified without consulting the people of South Africa. In this way, they prepared, they drawn up, they designed a very beautiful constitution, very valuable constitution, which was well appreciated by throughout the world. Yes, finally these rules decide the rights of the citizens. These rules will work only if the winner cannot change them very easily. This is what the South Africans did. They agreed on some of the basic rules. They also agreed that these rules will be supreme, that no government will be able to ignore these. This set of basic rule is called as a constitution. The preamble of the South African constitution sums up this spirit. This is the preamble of South African constitution. In the beginning of the first page, you can see. So if you read this one, it is there in your textbook. Please go through that. Here they have given more importance for the democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. So in this way, today, within 2 decades back, they got freedom. Today it emerged into one of the developed country in the world.